trying to unravel this history and better understand what happened to these Americans serving overseas. Sanjay is joining us right now. Tell us, Sanjay, some of what you learned.
Well, Wolf, I gotta tell you, I've covered a lot of stories over the last 20 years. This one definitely stands
Searching
alone.
that guy.
I'm a brain doc, and I was just really curious about these descriptions around concussion-like symptoms that people were having. Talked to doctors that examined patients, patients themselves, scientists. Also went down to Cuba, Wolf, to see where these incidents actually occurred. But it was one senior intelligence officer that I interviewed that gave me the most insight, Wolf, into what may have been behind all this. And I want to take a look. Bill Evans was director of the U.S. National Counterintelligence and Security Center at the time of the incidents in Havana. Prior to that, he led the CIA's efforts to combat espionage against the United States. So if anyone knew what the Russians were up to in Cuba, it was likely him.
The Obama administration reopening the embassy in Havana, right? The Russian government was not happy with that. Both the Russians and the Chinese were facilitating new intelligence collection capabilities 90 miles from our shore in Cuba. So it was an opportunity for us to not only open that embassy, but at the same time for us to put some boots on the ground to be able to collect intelligence what our adversaries were doing in Havana and around the island of Cuba. We had seen over time that the Russian government and their intelligence services were not happy with our ability to put boots on the ground in Havana. So it was totally logical and made sense to not only me but our community that there would be some type of attack occurring.
You said, well, this makes sense. This is a culmination of something that's been much larger.
Yes.
How do you start to investigate it from that point forward?
We asked the community, let's go back a decade to see what countries were spending money, R&D money, research and development money, on a type of weapon that can do this, that can cause this type of damage.
What were the countries that sort of came to the list?
I think if you went to the depth of the CIA, there's going to be plenty of those, right? But I think at the end of the day, you have to weigh capability plus intent. I would think the Russian government would have both. And my opinion is, based on what I know, that it was the Russian government behind this, either solo or in cahoots with the Cuban government, and until I'm proven otherwise, I'll continue to believe that.
30 seconds.
Now, I should point out, Wolf, I want to be clear about this, the United States has never officially blamed Russia for this, and the Russian government has categorically denied any involvement. Dmitry Peskov, the spokesperson, he told us this specifically, that these are purely unfounded accusations that we do not accept. We have nothing to do with this.